Well, here we are, we're back. A lot of weird things, of course, have been going on, like always. The Epstein stuff is interesting, to say the least, huh? The most transparent administration ever. They exist, they're on the desk. They don't exist. You didn't see anything, it's all a hoax. I don't know, I'm a guitar player. But we have other things going on. I recently learned from a friend. This friend has weird stuff going on her family's property. She's described hearing, well, I should let her go into it. Anyway, it's stuff that reminds me of the interviews I've heard regarding people's Sasquatch encounters. Not so much dogman encounters, mainly Sasquatch. I've been infrequently posting because I've been working on 2 songs, and I'm happy to say the rhythm guitar and lead guitar for both songs is 100% done. One of the songs is done except for some automation. Now, for those of you who aren't into recording music, automation is something you can do in a song to automate the volume levels of something. Perhaps you want, in my case, you want a certain guitar part to be a little bit louder. You want the drum fills between verses, the stuff. You want that to be a little bit louder. And the song, Shmups, if you're watching, the song that has been plaguing me for about 3 years is finally done. Now, Shmups offered a long time ago. He said, hey, if you ever want to collaborate, let me know. And then he posted his email address for everybody to see. For all my 14 viewers out there, Shmups, feel free to hit me up if you like, if you have any collaboration stuff you want me to put lead guitar over. At some point we can work something out here. I need to 100% finish these songs and get them to this record label guy. I don't know if I'll be able to record that conversation or not. We'll find out. We'll find out when I get there. I'll show you a little bit of what I've been working on. Maybe play a little bit. Let's take a look. This is the song that's been plaguing me for 3 years, and this is what it looks like before it's been mixed. This is just the guitar parts and main song parts have all been recorded. I may need to record some bass guitar parts. But this track here, we have MIDI for the drums. So that needs to be broken out into all the individual drum parts. Parts such as, a kick, snare, hi-hat, floor toms, rack toms, overhead, room mics, that sort of thing. So real drum kits are recorded with a tremendous number of microphones. In fact, let's take a look. What am I using here for the drums? I'm using the Native Instruments 80s drummer with the hardcore mixing setup. And I really like that sound for this. I'm not going to mess with the drum sound. So a drum, right here it tells you what it is. We've highlighted that. That's a kick drum. Right here, there's a tom, there's a snare, and these are called rack toms. We got hi-hat, we have cymbals. There are a lot of parts in a drum kit here. Let's take a look at what else we have going on. We have these rhythm guitars here. A left and a right rhythm guitar, and then we have some more rhythm guitars here toward the end. We have multiple takes of lead guitar. All right, here's a little bit, a tiny taste of that guitar part that was plaguing me for so long. It's difficult because here it is. You only get to hear a tiny part of this. Here we go. There's some more kind of fancy guitar stuff. I mean, this song has a lot of hot guitar playing. Let's see. See, so there's more fancy stuff right there. Let's take a look at the other song. And I'm using Studio One version 5.5. I'll update it at some point. And there's my Super RME Babyface Pro FS interface and my Sennheiser HD 650s. Those are my favorite things to use. I have a Native Instruments complete MIDI controller here. All right, so here's the mix view. This song is mixed. As I mentioned before, all I need to do now is add some automation. So this is the mix window. These are all the individual faders. These mimic those giant consoles. For those of you who aren't familiar with recording stuff, Oh man, we are nailing the performance down here. What are we doing? Oh yeah, because we have this set to minimum for recording. We should set that to maximum. There we go. It gives the computer a little bit more space. Check out this song. So we have these individual tracks, right? We have a kick drum, snare, hi-hat, rack toms, overhead. Now you notice, for those of you who are into recording, I don't have the multiple mics. I don't have snare top, snare bottom, kick in and kick out. I got what I felt was just a perfect balance of those mics, and then just transported out from the MIDI to individual audio tracks for the drums. We have 4 rhythm guitars going on, 2 left and 2 right. They're panned a little bit. Some of them are hard left and hard right. And by that, I mean, some of you aren't and do this recording stuff. When you have a guitar on the left and you have a guitar on the right, do you want that playing only out of the left speaker? Or do you want it kind of somewhere in between, mostly out of the left speaker and some out of the right? So some of these guitars are panned hard left and hard right, just coming out of the left, just coming out of the right. And then the other guitars, I was running into a phase issue. I don't expect you to understand that if you're not into recording. But I went ahead and I did not pan those hard left and right, just a little bit over. So we got, I recorded everything, but the bass guitar parts and all the different verses for the lead guitar all the way down. Let's see, can we play any of this for you? Yeah, let's just a little tiny clip. Let's see. What do we have going on here? I ran into something in the mix that I thought really helped out on the lead guitars here. These little things here, all the different plugins I'm using on these channels. So we have the guitar plugin. I'm using Guitar Rig 6 from Native Instruments. I'm using this EQ from DDMF. I'm using the Black Box analog design emulation here, the plugin of the real hardware version. Let's see, and I'm using this right here. This is let's make it a little bit bigger. This plugin simulates hardware. I believe they're calling it a British channel, so this is probably an SSL emulation. That's my guess. I mean, probably duh, right? This is the default setting right here. I did not go and, start twisting any knobs. I'll undo that. I just put this on the channel, and I noticed that in listening to it through the HD 650s here, and probably the main monitors, but this room isn't acoustically treated. So my mixing is done primarily on headphones, and I check the mix on the main monitors here. Just throwing this on the channel, just putting this insert, and in this case, I was putting it at the very end of the plug-in chain here. I noticed it gave some sort of harmonic richness. I don't know how to put that. That really helped that lead guitar shine a little bit, just in the frequencies, just pop out of the mix a little bit. That was cool. So you never know when you're going to put a channel on something. This is called a channel strip, because this emulates what you used to get on those big mixing consoles, in the $1 million studios and $500,000 consoles, that sort of thing. My first release was recorded on a console that had been owned by Madonna. Gross, right? And some of you already know this. I mentioned this before. A console that had been owned by Madonna, and my song was played through an amplifier that had been owned by Eddie Van Halen. That was a lot of fun. Between this stuff and the side gigs that I have going on, all photography, and I don't think I've done a little bit of video work. Sorry, this is not about that. We're back now. I should be posting more regularly. I have ideas. Talk to you soon.